What if everything you've been chasing, money, love, success, was never the real source of happiness? What if the answer has been quietly waiting inside you all along? Ask yourself this: what truly brings you joy? Is it your relationships, your job title, your possessions? Or is it something more enduring like peace of mind, resilience, or clarity? The Stoics thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus had a surprisingly radical take. They believed happiness isn't found in the outside world, but in how we choose to see it. Unlike today's media, which tells us happiness lies in luxury, achievements, or constant positivity, the Stoics saw happiness as something internal, earned through self-mastery. So the real question becomes, how can you be truly happy in 2024 and beyond? Using Stoic wisdom. In this video, we're going to walk through timeless Stoic practices tested and proven for centuries that can help you cultivate real, lasting happiness. And here's the best part: you don't have to master all of them. Even applying just two can completely shift your perspective, your emotions, and your entire life. So get comfortable. Stay with us. This might just be the shift you've been searching for. 1. Stop doubting yourself. Start believing. Self-doubt has a sneaky way of creeping in. It often disguises itself as humility or being realistic, but underneath, it erodes our confidence. The Stoics knew this feeling well, but they also knew it wasn't permanent. Even Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, filled pages with personal reminders, quiet arguments with his own insecurities. He didn't pretend to be fearless. Instead, he learned to question his doubts with a calm, rational mind. Try this the next time doubt knocks on your door. Pause, breathe, and ask, is this helping me grow or holding me back? Is this thought rooted in truth or just old fear? That's not denial. That's discipline. It's Stoic clarity. Picture yourself standing on the edge of something new, a passion project, a bold decision, a meaningful relationship. Doubt whispers, you'll fail. But you answer, I've failed before and I grew. I've succeeded before and I forgot. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's remembering your strength. Marcus once wrote, our life is what our thoughts make it. These aren't poetic musings. They're a roadmap. If you change your inner dialogue, you can change your life's direction. You don't need perfect certainty. You just need the courage to move forward, even with trembling hands. 2. Reflect on your life. Let's be honest. How often do we stop and actually reflect? Most people don't. It's easier to scroll, binge, or keep busy, but real happiness demands awareness. You don't need a monastery or a mountain to reflect. You just need a few moments of stillness, maybe while brushing your teeth, maybe during your commute. Ask, what am I really living for? Do I like the person I'm becoming? Imagine your life as a documentary. Would it inspire you? Would your future self be proud? Or would you quietly feel bored and disconnected? Reflection isn't about guilt. It's about alignment. Now, think about your dreams, not the ones that visit at night, but the ones you've buried under routines and obligations, the ones you whisper to yourself when no one's listening. Are they still there? Are they breathing? If you can stick to checking emails and charging your phone daily, you can take one small step toward your purpose. No dream is too big to begin. You just need to begin. Your life isn't a background story. It's your story, and it deserves to be lived fully, not just watched. 3. Focus on what you can control. Life throws curveballs, unexpected events. People who disappoint us, plans that fall apart. That's not a bug. That's how life is. But the Stoics weren't interested in controlling the chaos. They were interested in mastering the response. Think of life like a game. You can't choose the levels or the opponents, but you can train your reaction. You can master your controller. You can't control the economy, the weather, or other people's moods. But you can control your choices, your words, your mental framing. That's Stoicism in action, choosing to stay centered when everything else feels unstable. Real power isn't about dominating the world, it's about not letting the world dominate you. Because when you focus on what you can control, that's where peace begins. Seneca, one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, once faced exile, a total upheaval of his status, position, and influence. For many, this would feel like disaster, but Seneca saw something else. An invitation inward. Stripped of power, he focused instead on his thoughts, his values, his craft. Rather than curse what he lost, he tended to what remained, his inner garden. And from this space of stillness, he created some of the most profound writings in Stoic history. He didn't retreat to escape life. He retreated to redirect life. Exile didn't crush him. It clarified him. His choice teaches us a crucial lesson. When the world turns upside down, we can still choose how we stand. As Epictetus wrote, some things are up to us and some are not. That single line, it's a compass, a way to navigate modern chaos. Epictetus, born into slavery, endured powerlessness in every external sense, but he turned his energy inward. He chose to master not the world, but his own mind. He didn't spend life complaining about the wind. He learned how to sail. And we can do the same. When life feels out of control, Stoicism gives us this lifeline. You may not control the event, but you always control the meaning you give it. That's where power begins, not in resistance, but in responsibility. Happiness isn't about having control over everything. It's about knowing where your control begins and where it ends. And here's something practical. Make 2 lists. On one side, write what's within your power, your reactions, decisions, habits. On the other, what's outside other people's opinions, traffic, the economy. Now, spend your energy only on list 1. That's how Stoics live with clarity, not confusion. 4. Be kind to others. There's an invisible ripple in every act of kindness. Hold a door. Offer a warm smile. Speak gently when you could criticize. These moments, tiny and quiet, create echoes we can't always see, but they change the world nonetheless. Imagine throwing a pebble into a lake. You'll never reach the farthest ripples, but they exist because of you. That's how goodness works. The Stoics didn't preach kindness as sentimentality. They saw it as strategy. Seneca wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." And he lived that ideal. He mentored freely, gave generously, and reminded others through action that virtue is not theory, it's practice. Kindness doesn't mean weakness. It means mastery of ego. It means choosing to build even when it's easier to break. And the irony, when you lift others, you lift yourself. But don't expect immediate returns. You're not planting seeds for applause, you're planting for future shade. Sometimes that goodness returns in the form of a stranger's help. Other times it comes as inner peace, the soft knowing that you acted from integrity. In a world increasingly divided, your kindness becomes resistance. In a world chasing attention, your compassion becomes rebellion. So walk into 2024 with an open hand and an open heart. You never know who needs your light until you offer it. And here's one more reason to choose kindness. It builds momentum. Do one kind thing today, and you'll feel more inclined to do another tomorrow. You're training your mind to see humanity not as a threat, but as a mirror. 5. Do less, but do it better. Ever felt like you're juggling too many things? It's still getting nowhere. Modern life celebrates the hustle, but Stoicism whispers something wiser. Less, but better. Marcus Aurelius didn't conquer chaos by doing more. He focused, he filtered, he acted with deliberate intention. He said, concentrate every minute like a Roman on, doing what's in front of you with precision, honesty, and grace. This wasn't poetic fluff, it was tactical focus. He knew that excellence doesn't come from scattered effort. It comes from centered action. Your time is limited, your energy finite. So why waste it on things that don't matter? Start here. Trim your to-do list. Identify your highest values. Choose the essential few over the trivial many. Think of yourself like a sculptor. Every time you say no to distraction, you're chiseling away what's unnecessary, revealing something beautiful underneath. Doing less doesn't mean dreaming smaller. It means aiming sharper. When you engage deeply fully, you create not just results, but fulfillment. You turn chaos into clarity. So ask yourself, what's worth your full presence today? Then give it, not halfway, but all the way. And when you do, you'll realize it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things with your whole soul. Because that's where happiness hides, not in the noise, but in the focus. 6. Be grateful. Gratitude is like finding a crumpled $5 bill in the pocket of an old jacket. You didn't expect it, but it makes your whole day better. That's the magic of gratitude. It doesn't change your circumstances, it changes the way you see them. It's about the little things. A warm cup of coffee, a kind message from a friend, a quiet evening breeze, or the way the sunlight filters through your window. Gratitude doesn't wait for grand moments. It grows in the ordinary. When you start paying attention to these tiny gifts, life starts to feel richer, fuller. Suddenly, you realize abundance was already here. You just hadn't noticed it. So how do you make gratitude stick? Simple. Start a daily ritual. Every night, before bed, jot down one thing, just one that you're thankful for. Maybe you had a peaceful moment during lunch. Maybe you hit a personal milestone. Or maybe you just had a good laugh. This habit rewires your focus. It pulls your attention from what's missing to what's present, what's already yours. Epictetus once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This man lived with little, but he saw himself as rich because he counted his blessings, not his lacks. And that's our invitation in 2024, to stop waiting for happiness to arrive and instead recognize that gratitude is the doorway to happiness. The more you practice it, the more happiness shows up. Not because life got easier, but because you got wiser. 7. Stop seeking external approval. We've all felt it, that quiet hunger for someone to say, "You're doing great." A like, a compliment, a nod of approval. It's human, but Stoicism teaches us to pause and ask, whose voice really matters? Chasing approval is like chasing your own shadow. You'll never catch it. The moment you please one person, another has a different opinion, and so you run faster and feel emptier. Instead, picture your self-worth as a fortress. Why would you give the keys to strangers? The shift begins with the smallest acts. Did you make your bed this morning? Celebrate it. Did you take a deep breath instead of snapping in frustration? That's growth. These tiny victories build something powerful, self-respect. Next time you feel tempted to post something just for the likes, stop and ask, am I doing this for me or for the gram? Because here's a Stoic secret. Your own judgment is the only one you carry to bed at night. Try doing one thing each day that makes you proud, not for applause, but because it aligns with who you want to be. This isn't arrogance, it's inner alignment. Think of it like clearing mental clutter. Less noise from outside voices means more space for your own growth, your own clarity. It's not about rejecting people, it's about returning to yourself. And in that space, you'll find freedom. 8. Challenge yourself. Picture this. You're climbing a mountain. The path is steep, the air thin. You slip, you doubt, you sweat. But every single step makes you stronger. Stoicism, though ancient, feels like it was built for this climb. Because life's real meaning doesn't come from ease, it comes from effort. So instead of dodging discomfort in 2024, walk into it. Let your daily routine become your Everest. That doesn't mean radical change. Stoicism doesn't demand perfection. It encourages progress. Pick one challenge. It could be reading one book a month, learning to cook something new, improving your health, or simply showing up with more presence in your relationships. The goal isn't to impress anyone. The goal is to grow, to stretch your limits and become more than you were yesterday. Because every time you face something hard and do it anyway, you build something unshakable inside. That is Stoic strength. 8. Share the climb. Every small victory is one more step up your personal mountain. But remember, no great climb is done alone. Stoicism often emphasizes self-mastery, but it never ignores the value of community. When you share your struggles, your lessons, your triumphs, you don't just gain support. You become support for someone else. By opening up, you remind others they're not climbing alone either. So, in 2024, let's rise together. Let's share our load and multiply our strength. Together, we not only reach higher peaks, we enjoy the view more when we get there. 9. Laugh more. Yes, laughing is Stoic. It might sound odd, but the ancient Stoics didn't frown their way through life. They embraced humor as a tool for perspective. Take Chrysippus, a Stoic philosopher said to have died from laughter. While dramatic, the story reveals a deeper truth. Laughter isn't frivolous, it's essential. When you laugh at life's absurdities, you take away their power. Your coffee spills? Maybe the universe wanted to test your ability to laugh instead of snap. A traffic jam? Perfect moment to cue up your favorite comedy podcast. This isn't denial. It's emotional alchemy. Turning frustration into playfulness is a Stoic superpower. Laughter bridges gaps. It disarms tension. It invites connection. It's a shared melody that makes even hard days feel lighter. So be the one who breaks the silence with a smile, the one who lifts the room with a chuckle. Your lightness might be the reason someone else makes it through the day. 10. Love your fate. Amor fati. Love your fate. It might sound impossible, even absurd, but it's one of Stoicism's boldest, most beautiful ideas. To love your fate means this. You don't just tolerate what life brings, you embrace it. You trust that every twist, every delay, every detour has something to offer you. It's like surfing. You don't control the waves, you ride them. Missed your Uber? Maybe the walk clears your head. Lost a file? Maybe it pushes you to create something better. Slow Wi-Fi. Maybe it's time to breathe and notice the world outside your screen. Marcus Aurelius said it best. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, the obstacle isn't in your path. It is the path. This mindset is more than philosophy. It's a revolution, because when you stop fighting reality, you start transforming it. So as you step into this new year, don't just wish for ease, wish for strength, wish for presence, wish for purpose, and meet life, not with resistance, but with a smile. Closing message. We've walked through 10 Stoic principles. 10 timeless tools to help you live with more clarity, peace, and joy. But in the end, the journey is yours. Happiness doesn't lie in changing the world. It lies in changing how you meet the world. So remember, focus on what you can control. Let go of what you can't. Embrace the present. And when in doubt, pause, breathe, and begin again. If this journey sparks something in you, we'd love for you to keep walking with us. Drop a comment. What Stoic lesson resonated most with you? Hit that like button. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's keep growing, one Stoic step at a time. Here's to a calmer, wiser, and more joyful you in 2024 and beyond.